So many of the battles between Democrats and Republicans in Congress come down to money. Who gets it, how, why? And we're seeing a version of this battle playing out in the California Senate race with respect to community project funding, also known as earmarks. Our Washington correspondent Cassie Simeon joins us tonight from D.C. Cassie, tell us more about these earmarks and how it's playing out for the California Senate hopefuls.
Well, these earmarks are really a way for lawmakers to direct funding back to their home districts without having to go through the traditional appropriations process. Now, Orange County Congresswoman Katie Porter has long been against this practice, saying it leads to corruption. But it's causing a stir because both Adam Schiff and Barbara Lee, her two opponents for the California Senate race right now, they participate in earmarks. And today I spoke with both of them. They defended the practice while also simultaneously hitting back at Porter. In a video posted to her social media this week, California Senate candidate Katie Porter is doubling down on her opposition to community projects funding, also known as earmarks.
So I take my responsibility to protect our hard-earned tax dollars very seriously. No one wants to see their tax dollars wasted, and no one who represents us, Democrat or Republican, is above being held responsible for how our money gets spent.
It's a stance that she's held since she came to Congress, but that both Democrats and Republicans do enjoy and participate in, including her California Senate opponents Barbara Lee and Adam Schiff. I asked both Schiff and Lee to respond to Porter's video. Both of them defended their decisions to use earmarks, and both candidates told me that not participating in accessing these funds only hurts Californians.
I'm very proud to have brought millions of dollars back to my district to help homeless people find shelter, to help provide mental health services, to help establish a regional DNA lab to help solve unsolved crimes. These are important community-based initiatives. Now, some members would rather have a political talking point than help their constituents, but I'll tell you, my constituents, they would rather have housing than a political talking point.
These earmarks help develop affordable housing, provide for violence prevention initiatives, provides for infrastructure, it provides for good paying jobs and provides for services. And in a state such as California, when you have 20 million people living one paycheck away from poverty, I am not going to neglect my constituents nor the state by not bringing in as many federal projects. These are tax dollars. My constituents, the state of California, deserves their tax dollars to be returned to the state.
For fiscal year 2023, California Senator Dianne Feinstein brought $337 million in congressional directed spending back to the Golden State. Lee reported bringing back over $18 million in community project funding, and Schiff raked in more than $13.7 million in funding for projects. Schiff criticized Porter without using her name for not participating in earmarks.
Any candidate for the Senate that says, I won't do that, well, Californians are going to lose. But you know who's going to be thrilled with that kind of political talking point? The senators from every other state in the union.
We asked Porter's campaign to clarify her comments and whether or not she was accusing her opponents of being corrupt for participating in the practice of earmarks. A spokesperson for her campaign said, quote, Katie fundamentally believes we need to restore Americans' trust in government, and that ending earmarks once and for all is an important part of that. Now, earmarks just came back to Washington, D.C. in 2021 after being banned for over a decade due to corrupt dealings when it came to these funding projects. One former California Congressman, Duke Cunningham, actually went to prison for his corrupt dealing when it comes to community project funding. But Republicans and Democrats agree that this is an opportunity to bring funding back to their districts to really make sure that government is working for the people, especially where it's most needed when it comes to housing and other types of projects.
Yeah, Cassie, even local mayors like Karen Bass, I mean, people would like to know her homelessness initiative. She's really asked for all those senators and House Republican members from LA to use one of their allotted earmarks to get some money for homelessness, $40 million in that plan. So it is a big story, and it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out. Cassie, thanks for your reporting on it. It's a story I know you'll continue to cover for us, and we look forward to what you have for us tomorrow.